Sound like a native speaker.
Speak like a native.
Speaking English like a native speaker. Speak like a native speaker.
Sound like a native.
A native English speaker.
I believed this for years, and it almost stopped me from starting this YouTube channel 5 years ago. I grew up in Poland with just one English class a week. That was literally my only exposure to English growing up. And obviously that wasn't speaking, that was just studying grammar rules. So when I finally decided I'm gonna share my language learning journey and what worked for me, I sat in front of a camera like 2 or 3 hours before pressing record. When I finally recorded that video, I played it back and I was like, oh my dear God, this cringe feeling, you know, when you hear your voice for the first time in a foreign language, that was just too much. My first thought was, who is gonna take me seriously when I sound like this? I was telling myself, maybe I'm gonna start my own YouTube channel when I sound more American, when I sound more like a native. But you know what? That moment never came. The moment that changed everything for me was when I realized I was solving a completely wrong problem. Sounding like a native was actually never the goal. Being understood was. Feeling confident when I speak was. Not getting an anxiety attack when I opened my mouth. And here is the most important thing for all non-native English speakers. You don't have to erase your accent. Because your accent is your identity. Your accent is your culture. Your accent is your story. It's your unique story. It shows people how much you've been through. It shows people your resilience, how strong you are, how many things you actually learned. So we're not focusing on sounding like Americans, because guess what? We're not Americans. Our goal is to sound clear and confident. Our goal is to understand and be understood. So in today's video, guys, I'm gonna show you exactly how to do this with 6 tips that worked wonders for me. Welcome back to Wanna Speak by Veronique. My name is Veronica. You already know that I am from Poland. I'm also a digital nomad, sending you my love today from Medellin, Colombia. The first practical thing is so simple, it sounds stupid. Relax your jaw. It's super normal for us non-native English speakers to get super nervous when we need to speak English. That's why our jaw clenches. We hold so much tension in our jaw because our brain does so many things at once. We translate, we analyze our grammar, we listen to ourselves, and we want to correct ourselves. So that's really stressful. Do you want to know what I do before every business meeting, before every important phone call? I massage my jaw. How do I do that? Well, it's gonna look pretty ridiculous, but believe me, it helps so much. So let me show you. I massage my jaw with my knuckles. These are your knuckles. And I breathe. And I'm gonna make really weird faces. I just try to relax. Try with me and tell me in the comments if it feels good. Now that your muscles are relaxed, let's go to the second thing that genuinely helped me build confidence in speaking English. And it's the app called Bold Voice. It's an accent training app built by immigrants for immigrants. And what I love about Bold Voice is that it's super practical. With the AI chat, I can practice before filming and I can speak about my own life. I'd like to share that at the beginning of my English learning journey, I felt super insecure. Guys, I'm being corrected right away, so I can work on my mistakes, and it looks like I mispronounced the word sure. Oh, sure, like error. I didn't know that. That's so embarrassing. They have so many role plays to choose from, like phone interview or even something so casual like first day. And if there is a word I keep saying wrong, like for example, literally. So I can check it right away, break it down and practice it on the spot. Literally.
Great work.
I got it. For me, it's not about sounding fake or becoming someone else. It's about sounding clearer and feeling included and confident speaking English in the US. The link to a 7-day trial is below, so you can download Bold Voice right after watching this video. Okay, let's go to the third actionable tip And it's obviously the shadowing technique. This technique is one of the most powerful techniques to improve our accents. So your job is extremely simple. You find a native speaker that you really admire. I mean, you admire their accent. So you can grab your cell phone and watch a YouTube video, maybe a Netflix show. You listen very carefully, you pause, and you repeat.
Don't worry.
Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry.
I know what I'm doing.
I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing.
And I am number 2 on the call sheet once again.
And I'm number 2 on the call sheet once again. There are actually 2 ways of shadowing native speakers. The first one is what I already shared with you. To me, that works the best. But some people prefer the second option. They are basically talking with a native speaker, like they are exactly their shadow without pausing.
Oh,
No.
do I sound happy?
Do I sound happy? And let's be clear here. You are not trying to become someone else, okay? You are not trying to copy them forever. It's just to train the clear, correct pronunciation. The key to shadowing is to do it out loud, not in your head, because you actually need to train your facial muscles and your tongue to produce new sounds that you don't have in your native language. The next thing you can do to improve your accent is tongue twisters, but not the way most people do. It's not about the speed, it's about the control. I know it sounds pretty toxic, but actually control in the language learning is good. Control in life, not so good. Don't just practice random tongue twisters you found online. Practice the ones that target sounds you need to improve. For example, I have a big problem with this lax like in cook, in book, because in my native language, this sound simply doesn't exist. That's why I practice this tongue twister. I found this one on YouTube and I slow it down and I try to shadow this woman. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? I'm gonna speed it up a bit. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck? Would a woodchuck... One more time. I need to slow it down one more time. And that's fine. You have to be patient with yourself. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Now I'm gonna try to speed it up. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? I pause and I say it on my own. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck would chuck... How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? I got it. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Okay, basically you practice the same tongue twister until you feel control over sounds. We're almost there, bear with me. So the next tip, and the thing that actually terrified me so much, was practicing with native speakers. This is something you can't escape from, because the goal of a language is communication between us, between human beings. So we need to talk to native speakers to actually improve our accents, to improve our English. And I know that's the most terrifying part, because till this day, I get a bit anxious when I have to talk to a native speaker, especially here in Colombia, where I'm staying this month of April. There are so many gringos, and gringos are Americans. So yeah, I have a lot of interactions with Americans, and I'm traveling to the US soon. And I still have this, not in my stomach, but that's okay. Because I realized that native speakers are not sitting there analyzing my every sound, my every word. No, they are just having a conversation with me. And now, if you are an immigrant, an expat in the US, you are obviously in a perfect situation. So just go out there and talk to people. I mean, even in a coffee shop. Order yourself a coffee and maybe change the kind of milk. This, generates a longer conversation. Or talk to a lady in a grocery store, or talk to someone in a subway. If you are not in the US, no worries. Don't attack me in the comments. I have a solution for you as well. We live in wonderful times. We have this. We have laptops, we have cell phones, we have internet. This is where you can meet native speakers and you can practice. Even for free, there are a lot of apps, websites, language exchange, Facebook groups. So you can do it for free or you can pay for an interaction with a native speaker, but you can do it. We live in a world of opportunities. Once you start talking to native speakers, your English is gonna skyrocket. Yes, emotionally, it's gonna feel difficult, but this difficult feeling, this cringe feeling is actually the sign of growth. This is the sign that you are learning something new and you are gaining confidence. Because, about confidence, you can't talk yourself into being more confident. You actually have to take action. Most of the time, massive action. For example, I recorded thousands and thousands of videos, of reels. I'm still not quite there. I'm practicing. I'm mastering my confidence. I wouldn't say that I'm 1,000,000% confident because there were these guys here in a coffee shop that were sitting right in front of me and were staring at me while I was recording. That's why at the beginning of this video, you can notice that I was a bit tense. But this is how I practice. The last tip is something a lot of people skip because it's simple, but it's super powerful. Be an observer. Observe carefully, listen, analyze. This is what actually made me fluent in Spanish. I learned Spanish to an intermediate level in around 7 months. And you know what accelerated my progress? Observing the rhythm, intonation, mouth, tongue, everything, and then practice. Practice these phrases out loud. If you are watching something, remember about this. It's okay to slow it down before speeding it up. Becoming fluent doesn't always mean fast. Fluency is about becoming comfortable in this language. And how do you become comfortable? When you slow things down, you are relaxed, you are observing, you feel safe. Okay, guys, we're gonna wrap this video up. I just want you to remember this one crucial thing. Your accent is not your enemy. And what you can work on is your clarity on understanding and being understood. You don't have to sound like a native to feel included in the US, and you don't have to erase your accent to actually make more money. There are a lot of non-native English speakers who made it, let's say, in the US and who are even millionaires. They built empires in the US while having their accent. Thank you so much for watching Wanna Speak by Veronique. You're not alone in this English learning journey. See you next week in my next video. You got this.